Hello everyone, welcome. Alright, so I don't really know how to make an introduction for this video, but welcome to my new channel. It is my Smash Bros channel, so for those of you who have been watching my videos for a while, you'll know that I love Super Smash Bros Ultimate. It's one of my favorite games, and I do play quite a bit. I don't consider myself by any means a high-level player, but I would like to say that I have a decent amount of knowledge in the game, and I do plan on making videos in the future. I've wanted to make a Smash channel for a while, but because I've been balancing my time between my League of Legends channel and my Genshin, it's been difficult for me to make time to do this one. But with how the season is opening up and, because of the pandemic starting to wear off and people are starting to go and resume with the in-person tournaments, the offline tournaments, the season leading into spring and summer is going to be very explosive. And I thought it would be a good time to start working on a couple videos, so I wanted to do a more familiar one. I didn't want to open up right away with like a why no one plays video, even though I do plan on making a lot of those episodes since, as you know, there are no shortage of characters in this game, and we have quite a few unpopular ones, so you can look forward to seeing a bunch of why no one plays episodes, and I do plan on making some more discussion and analytical video essays. So welcome, I hope you are looking forward to some spicy takes, especially because I am going to be doing a tier list video for the first episode. Just a quick disclaimer, again, I'm not the most experienced player out there. I have a decent amount of competitive knowledge, and I'm definitely no like PGR player, so I don't think you should take my tier list all too seriously. But then again, that's the benefit of tier list videos, that's the fun of it, in that it's primarily opinionated. A lot of people do like to give a little bit too much credibility to tier lists, but at the end of the day, it is a person's opinion. They will be biased, especially if it pertains to a character's usage in competitive games, considering they're usually pitting that character against their own personal experience, their empirical data. But with that said, I'm gonna divide this video into 3 parts. I know most people like to condense their entire tier list into one video, but since this is a new channel, it's my first video, I'm gonna try to attract viewers onto my channel by making some more casual stuff, kind of like how I do with my Genshin channel, and also just to get the word out that I am officially starting my Smash channel. One more thing, I don't really know how I'm gonna be doing the scheduling because I'm still very focused on my first and second channel, Vars 1 and Vars 2. I don't know what I'm gonna call this. I don't know if I'll call it Vars 3 or Vars Smash, I'm not sure. But I'll try my best to throw an occasional video here and there, especially if my enjoyment for making League videos wanes. Then I'll go down from 2 videos to 1 on that channel and move that one channel to here, or move that one video to here. So there'll be 1 League video, 1 Genshin video, and 1 Smash video a week. I hope you look forward to that. So we're gonna get started. The first episode will be covering the don't use tiers and the low tiers, and then the second episode will cover the mid tier and the mid-high tier. Then the third episode will cover the high tier and top tier. So my rationale is not necessarily how they are on paper per se, but more if they have the ability to be used in, actual competitive tournaments. So I won't really be considering things like Elite Smash or you and your friends. So I'll mostly be focusing, like at the bare minimum, it'll be in locals and also in major tournaments. So if you see people, running these characters in bracket on VG Bootcamp or Beyond the Summit, things like that. I also am one of those people who think that tier lists tend to put way too many characters, or people tend to put way too many characters in top tier and high/top tier, which defeats the purpose of being top tier. I know in Smash Ultimate's defense, out of the 5 games, it is the most balanced in that the gap between the best character in the game and the worst character in the game is a lot smaller than it is in other games. It's not like, Brawl with Meta Knight, or Fox versus, Roy in Melee, or Kirby in Smash 64, or Bayonetta in her prime in Smash 4. So Ultimate did a very good job balancing most, if not all, of the characters. That said, I still think we should do as much as we can to not oversaturate top tier, because that is the point of top tier. These characters stand above everyone else. Alright, so we've been at this for 5 minutes, let's go ahead and actually get started, and we're going to begin with don't use. When I say don't use, there might be 1 or 2 people walking this earth out of the however many millions of players who play Smash who somehow managed to obtain results, but that is only by virtue of the player maximizing every ounce of goodness that they can from the character and doing whatever they can to minimize the weaknesses, and even then, there's no way they're going to be able to take majors, right? So that would be, let's say, where is it? Ganondorf. A lot of people like to make fun of Ganondorf as being that character that everyone likes to sleep on, mostly just because of Elite Smash. It's purely because of Elite Smash. Ganon does have a lot of good tools. He has a lot of good aerials, especially his Nair, his up air, and even to some extent his down air is pretty good. And a lot of people fall for his Flame Choke and his forward smash, up smash, and down smash being very easy kill options in low percentages, but practically speaking, it is just simply far too easy for him to suffer due to his almost non-existent recovery and disadvantage state. The people who don't know how to punish that will obviously think he's a lot better than he really is, but the people who do, even for the characters that he somewhat does okay against, like let's say if it was Ganondorf versus, I don't know, Captain Falcon for the sake of argument, the Ganondorf player will have to play much harder to beat Captain Falcon than everyone else, and this applies to pretty much everyone in the cast, as it's really just due to the fact that he has terrible physics and a terrible recovery, which matters a lot in this game because stocks are usually taken either by getting destroyed in, some really heavy combo or edge guarded. Smash Ultimate is a very aerial focused game, and if Ganondorf gets thrown off stage even once, the majority of the cast can gimp him quite easily. If he gets his hands on people, then he'll delete them in 4 hits. Case in point, Nairo's entire game with Light back in Collision. Outside of that, there's not much he can do. And the same goes for Little Mac, which is, where is he? There he is. So everyone's going to be mentioning Peanut. Yes, I know, Peanut is a beast. And Little Mac's ground game stands virtually uncontested, unless your name is, let's say, Steve, or perhaps someone with very good zoning capabilities. As I mentioned before though, Smash Ultimate is heavily predicated on fighting in the air, whether it's, whether you're in the air on stage or you're off stage. There's a lot of edge guarding going around, there's a lot of juggling combos going around, and a lot of just trying to get your opponent in the air because air dodges are not spammable anymore, you only have one. So because Little Mac has no aerial game, it doesn't matter what anyone says and they're like, oh, but his forward smash, he can kill you with KO punch and things like that. None of that matters because good players will just simply throw you off stage and hit you once and there's nothing you can do. Peanut is able to minimize this by playing extremely precisely, but if you were to exert the same amount of effort and dedication on any other character, you'd be getting far better results. Peanut is carrying Little Mac, not the other way around. Alright, now the third character is basically the triad of unusable characters. Where are they? I can't find them. I must be blind. No, seriously, where is he? There he is. Dr. Mario. Why would you ever play Dr. Mario over Mario? Yes, he does kill a lot harder than Mario, but it's like the Ganondorf Captain Falcon argument. You might as well just play someone who's faster and more consistent in the form of Mario. Dr. Mario does have a few kill setups that Mario can't do, and with his down throw into Rising Cyclone, or Rising Cyclone is Luigi's. I forget what Dr. Mario's tornado move is. Or his up B. His up B out of shield is definitely a lot better as a punish option, but his recovery is so abysmal. Now I know what you're going to say, there are a lot of high tier and top tier characters with subpar recoveries, but he just doesn't really have anything in particular that wouldn't be present in a better placed character, right? Like he has power, but so do a lot of other characters. If you were to pit Dr. Mario against Terry, Terry essentially is just Dr. Mario but better in every way. I would say that he definitely has more viability than Ganondorf or Little Mac, but not enough to where you would really see anyone unironically maining them. And as such is the case because he never shows up in major tournaments past like the top 256. Alright, so that's pretty much what I put in the don't use category. There's not that many that you would put down here because again, almost everyone in Smash Ultimate is viable to some extent. And even then I would consider Dr. Mario, Ganondorf, and Little Mac viable in the sense that they can definitely take sets, but you'll never see them in top 256. Moving on to low tier. By the way, this is not going to be ordered in any way. We're going to begin with Simon and Richter, or Richter and Simon, I misordered them. The Belmonts are a source of frustration for a lot of players online, mostly due in part to the fact that they can cover a lot of different approach options. They have their cross, which covers a horizontal angle. They have their axes, which cover a, what is it called? Parabola, I believe it's called, a parabolic angle. And then they also have their Holy Water, which can set up for a lot of edge trap situations, and a lot of people fall for the Holy Water forward smash attack. So it might seem like they're very intimidating to deal with. They're very good at zoning and spacing you out. They have a decent up B close-up burst option, and even if you can manage to slide through their projectiles, they still have their chain whips, which can cover multiple different angles, especially because you can angle their forward air and back air down, up, or straight. But they're extremely precise. That is, I would say, their biggest weakness, is that their attacks have really good coverage, but they can't necessarily cover them as comfortably as, let's say, a Cloud or a Rob or Pyra Mithra. They require much greater execution, and they suffer from Ganondorf syndrome, where the moment they get thrown off stage, a lot of people can simply gimp them if they fail to get within range to tether grab the ledge. That said, I've seen Riddles as Richter before he became a Shoto main or a fighting game character main, and you can definitely pull off some fancy shenanigans with them. They just have way too many losing matchups where they would have to play 2 times harder just to stay in competitive reach of those characters, and therefore I think they're low tier. Up next, we have King K. Rool, which is funny because at the beginning of the game, everyone thought he was like the first legitimate high tier heavy. Initially, yeah, a lot of people had that impression. He has belly armor, which makes his nair, his down smash, his dash attack really good burst options and that you can't really challenge it. But he has a very linear recovery. You know, people like to say you can't really spike him because his helicopter rotor thing has such a big hitbox vertically, like above his head, which is true. I would say only Sephiroth and Rob, maybe a few characters, can outreach or outrange his hitbox with his up B. But there are just so many other ways you can edgeguard him. And his Blunderbuster and Crown Throw, while they're decent tools in the neutral, are very slow, and if anyone gets within range of him, he pretty much suffers, because I believe the fastest aerial he has comes out of frame 10, or frame 11, and so any character with the half-decent combo game, or juggling game, or any game for that matter, will be able to rack up 90% on him, and all it takes is just one misplay for you to get destroyed. His higher placement online is mostly just because it's online. Right, like DK, Bowser, K. Rool, the reason why they're much more threatening online is because you have less time to react to their attacks and punish their attacks. So, offline though, we do have Kirby Kid. Kirby Kid's a fantastic K. Rool player. But, you know, if he ever runs into Fatality, it's pretty screwed. Same goes to DK. DK's got fantastic grappling game, he's got pretty good damage output, he has decent mobility on the ground and in the air, and he can juggle really well, he has a lot of easy kill setups. And his melee game is quite good. He's got very good super armor with his headbutt and his giant punch. He has tools. He can clap some cheeks. But he's big. Now I know what you're going to say. Rob is high/top tier and he's big. No, DK is like big, as in he's the easiest character to 2-frame. His recovery is so linear. It's the most spikeable recovery in the game. Second only to maybe Bowser. And he has to approach. He always has to approach. So anyone with a half-decent camping game or spacing game, if DK were to ever run into like a sortie, it would be very difficult for him. Now, I personally believe, out of bias, that Cloud loses to DK, but Cloud can still pretty much perma-juggle DK most of the time. And against other characters, like especially the top tiers, this guy stands virtually no chance. I wish that weren't the case, because I feel like, you know, he was really good in Smash 4 due to the Ding Dong, and Hikaru was always, you know, taking stocks off at like 40%. We do have Chunky Kong and DK Will nowadays. I haven't seen them very much in... I don't think they really attend national tournaments, but it would be interesting to see it proven wrong. I would put them in mid-tier if we had more representation in high levels of play. Yes, there was a point in time where Tweak was experimenting with them a bit and actually made it work to some degree, but most of the time I don't see why you wouldn't just play someone like Bowser. DK's a fun character to play. He's a really good punisher, as in he punishes players who aren't good at the game, but against players who are good at the game, he's gonna have a very hard time. Just to reiterate, that low tier doesn't mean a character isn't entirely unviable. It just means that, you know, as you can see by the tier, respect to anyone repping them, they just have to try really hard to make the character work. So theoretically they are viable, but practically it's just too much effort, it's not efficient. Piranha Plant, no one plays him. He's gonna be like my first Why No One Plays episode. He's a meme. Literally, it's just Patui. I would say the only thing about him that makes him not trash tier is Patui. That is the most broken neutral B in the game. Is his neutral B? I'm pretty sure it's his neutral B. he's just His aerials are kind of below average, his ground game is below average, his kill setups are very inconsistent. He has some of the best ledge trapping slash, brainless edge guarding you can think of, mostly because of Patui, and he's got a few setups where he can do like his poison gas plus I forget what his down B is called, the one where like he curls into his pot and then like launches outward. He can do a lot of shield breaking setups, but yeah, that's just, he's a very gimmicky character. Nothing that he has will work consistently against the majority of the cast. Speaking of consistency, let's talk about Marth. Now listen, I try to be like, Marth is viable, Marth can kill way earlier than Lucina, you just gotta be good at spacing. But Ultimate, the main difference between Ultimate and Smash 4, aside from the fact that Marth's tipper hitboxes are much less generous, is that Ultimate is a faster paced game in that characters have better physics in the air, they move around a lot faster. Knockback takes place a lot faster, we have the balloon knockback, whereas like if you remember Smash 4, it was like, if you watch a Smash 4 video after watching a Smash Ultimate video, it feels like everyone is underwater, and not only that, but ground traction is different in that if you look at Smash 4 gameplay, it feels like everyone's like sliding around. We also lost Perfect Pivot, which was super important for Marth in spacing, and so he lost a lot of tools that made his otherwise inconsistent tippers consistent. So without them, he's inconsistent. In high levels of play where players are pretty good at being on top of his face, it also doesn't help the fact that Ultimate favors rushdown characters, like characters who are always up in your face, and Marth is not good against that. You may as well just play Lucina at that point. I know, I don't want to say that, I don't want to sound, I'm sorry to all the Marth mains, I know, but really there are just way too many situations where playing Marth only makes it harder for you. I'm trying to be as nice as I can about it, but that's really all you can do with Marth. He's good conceptually. In practice, he's not, because it's just so unfair, whereas like, Roy, 70%, or I would say like 2/3 of his hitboxes are sweet spot, and the other third is the sour spot. For Marth, 2/3 of his hitbox are sour spots and 1/3 is a sweet spot. It's much easier to get the sweet spots on Roy because Roy just has to be right up in their face, whereas Marth is like a very specific, it's like Aurelion Soul, for those of you who are coming in from my league channel. He has a dead zone past the hitbox and then a dead zone in the hitbox. That's why people don't like to play him, because you have to have this very fine fixed distance from your character, which fluctuates from attack to attack. Like forward air versus forward tilt versus forward smash versus jab versus up tilt. Like they all have different fixed distances, whereas Roy, all of his aerials, all of his grounded moves, all of his normals, all of his specials will land the sweet spot if he's right next to his opponent. So there's much more margin for error, much more room to mess up on in terms of the spacing. Whereas Marth, you have to be at a different distance for every single attack. Man, I spend way too much time on every character, I should hurry along. Let's go into the next character, Bowser Jr. He doesn't necessarily have anything that other people can't just do better. If you're looking for a fast approach option, he has his Koopa cart, is that what it's called? The side B. Other characters have a much faster rush option, right? We have, let's say, where is it? Terry's Crack Shoot, we have Diddy's Monkey Flip, we have, or just characters with very fast ground mobility like Sonic or Fox. It's way too easy to see Koopa cart coming. His Cannonball and the Koopa wind-up toy are similar to K. Rool's Crown and Blunderbuster. They are projectiles, so he can force people to approach, but both of them can kind of be used against him. Or not both of them, only one of them can kind of be used against him. And they're really slow, they're really easy to see coming. It's not a fast projectile like, let's say, Young Link's Fire Arrows or Samus's Charge Shot. His combo game is pretty good. He's got the Koopa card into 5 strings of up airs, and his forward smash is fantastic. His forward smash, up smash, and down smash are actually quite good, especially for a character in this tier. And I would say that he's got a few things that can definitely close out stocks, like his jab. It's one of the strongest jabs in the game, if not the strongest. But trying to get those is difficult. In Smash, I know I mentioned this a lot in League, but in Smash, consistency matters more than anything else. If a character is consistently able to do X, Y, and Z, the higher they will be placed. So they can be a very good character, but if it's hard to apply their strengths, it doesn't matter how strong those strengths are if you can't land them. Banjo and Kazooie, another gimmicky character. He's got Wonder Wing, he has Greneg, which is annoying, and he's got A few decent setups. Not that much else apart from that. I don't really have that many words to say for him. He's just a really weird character. Wonder Wing is super punishable later on. It does offer really fancy and fast offstage kill setups, but not much else after that. Isabelle, poor thing. She does not belong in this game. She's too gentle of a soul. That's why none of her moves kill. I'm being serious, by the way. Aside from her forward smash, she doesn't kill at all. She'll get you to like 200% with her Lloyd rockets and her, her slingshots and stuff like that, but she doesn't kill. Isabelle is too gentle. She just can't. She should not be in this game. She doesn't have that killer instinct that you need to play this game. I know that sounds really ironic because I'm talking about Smash Bros. And not like Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter, but still. Duck Hunt. Raito is the only person who makes it work, but one person repping a character does not make for a good character. Duck Hunt is similar to, I would say, the Belmonts, where they have a few ways to set up really good kills, and if you make masterful use of the can, it's like fighting two people at the same time, because you gotta fight Duck Hunt and you gotta fight the can. But the can be fought back with, as you can like knock the can back into him. The fact that they have no easy just low percentage or not low percentage, the fact that they have no easy high percentage kill setups, or even mid percentage kill setups, makes them very inconsistent. They will regularly be getting players up to 180, 200%. And not to mention the fact that Duck Hunt Duo is super light. They will die at 110% by like the majority of strong stray hits. So you have to play way better than your opponent to get the same results. And if you're looking for someone who can do the same kind of job that Duck Hunt can, look no further than Snake. They have pretty much the same recovery, and they have the same kind of positional based zoning tools, so it's mostly better to just play Snake. Toon Link. TLDR, play Young Link. I know you really shouldn't be comparing these characters because, it's apple and orange. Every character has their own nuances and their own differences that make them stand out from one another, but yeah, just play Young Link. It's the same situation as Marth, where there's just someone who's very similar who's just infinitely better in every way. Wii Fit Trainer. So, I think Wii Fit Trainer is actually very slept on. They have really good kill power, very good damage and boxing capabilities. Deep breathing is just so good. Imagine if deep breathing was like on any other character, it'd be so good. And they have their side B, a fantastic disadvantage tool, and it's a decent projectile. They have Sun Salutation, which is a downgraded version of Samus's Charge Shot, but still pretty good. It's still a pretty powerful projectile. They have a lot of the things. The main issue with them is that they're just way too stubby. They have some of the shortest range in the game, and in a game where range matters a lot, they can get boxed out, even by fellow brawler type characters like Mario. And they're tall. Wii Fit Trainer is one of those fighters where there's just better versions of them. They don't have the same kind of consistent combo game. If you're looking for a combo game, you can play a better combo character. If you're looking for someone who can zone or camp, there are better camping characters out there. But I wouldn't say that that's to their detriment. I just wouldn't put them in mid-tier. John numbers might disagree with me, but you would have to really maximize their gimmicks to make them work, and even then, way too many losing matchups. Speaking of characters where there are just better versions of them, Mii Gunner. They have a lot of really annoying projectiles, and their nair is good. They have really good nair. And their forward smash can be pretty hard to deal with if you're not a character with a very strong shield game. Because it covers so much range, has a lot of active frames, and actually kills pretty early. That being said, they're slow. We have Samus, we have Snake, we have Rob, we have Pac-Man. Way better zoners out there with slightly better boxing game and a slightly better disadvantage state. That's what it boils down to. Mii Gunner is a zoner with a worse disadvantage state than the below average disadvantage state most zoners have. Mii Sword Fighter. There are so many swordies in this game. You're doing yourself a disservice by playing Mii Sword Fighter. They have gimmicks. They have their Tornado, which is one of the best projectiles in the game. I will die on this hill. But we have Cloud, we have Ike, we have Roy, we have Chrom, we have Lucina, we have Link, we have Sephiroth, we have just so many sword characters that are just better than Mii Sword Fighter. they're faster, they have wider hitboxes. Because that's also another problem with me sword fighter is that they're sorty with bad hitboxes because all their hitboxes are linear. Their forward air only hits directly in front of them, horizontally. Their up air only hits directly above them. Their down air only hits directly below them. Their back air only hits slightly behind them. They don't have the same kind of arcing coverage like you would see Pyra or, I guess even the same disjointed range as Sephiroth. They need some buffs, I would say. These, out of the three Mii fighters, I would say Mii sword fighter is the worst. Alright, Ice Climbers, they're a gimmick. Moving on, next. Incineroar. SkyJ is kicking names and taking ass, but he's one person, right? Incineroar he's got game. He is one of those characters that everyone likes to say, if he could just move around a lot faster, he would be instant high tier, and I agree. His physics are the only thing keeping him in check. He's got so many good tools, like he's just basically a better Captain Falcon if he was faster. Right, like the super all-in-your-face brawlers. Like he can contest Kazuya, he can contest Terry. He can probably even be a pretty decent counter to characters like, I would say, Steve. If he was just faster. He just had to be faster. That's it. Movement in this game matters so much. Because this is a rushdown meta. Zelda. Her Phantom is the only... It's like Piranha Plant. She has one good move, which is just her Phantom. Everything else, inconsistent, or doesn't really do a whole lot. Din's Fire is a very inaccurate projectile, it's hard to land and slow. Nehru's Love is a laggier version of every reflector in the game. Ferrar's Wind is Palutena's, or no, it has a hitbox, so you can't really compare it to Palutena's Warp. What is a warping attack? It's like... Ferrar's Wind's not bad. And her up air is good. Her down air is really good. Forward and back air are very inconsistent. And forward smash is also pretty good, especially for the range and speed. But those are all just really YOLO type attacks, and her normal gameplay is not the most consistent. She basically can only approach you with the dash attack, or she sits and waits for you to approach her by spamming Phantom and Din's Fire. The Killager. Same thing as Isabelle, they're way too gentle. Animal Crossing is a very peaceful and therapeutic, positive, non-violent game. And it just stayed that way. These characters are... Well, Villager I would definitely say is more viable than Isabelle, but low tier is still low tier, right? Like there's... No one can say without having a gun pointed to their head that Villager is anything higher than low tier. This video is getting pretty long, so we're gonna wrap it up. We're gonna go to King DDD next. Same thing as K-Rool, his projectile can be used against him. Gordo's strong, but it can be knocked back. He's fat. That's about it. He's a very good Wi-Fi warrior, not so much apart from that. Lucario. So, Lucario's Ganondorf only 20% of the time. Now, fortunately, he's better than Ganondorf in the sense that he has Aura Sphere, he does have extreme speed, he's got... It's pretty much impossible to gimp Lucario. If you want to kill him, you actually have to like kill him. But if you take everything I said about consistency and apply it to him, he's only a top tier character when he's at kill percent. So he's one mistake away from instantly dying, which is, you might think if all you need is like one good forward smash or force palm, but those are YOLO move attacks that you throw out that only work in online. In bracket, most people know how to deal with Lucario in top 256, and so they'll kill him before he gets to that point. Or even if he does get to that point, they know how to play to prevent him from doing so, because even if he does have 160% he's got rage and aura, he's ready to just one-shot you, the only way he can safely kill you is with Aura Seer, because everything else requires him to fully commit to approaching you, and then you can just punish that. Kirby. Speaking of movement physics I was talking about with Incineroar, Kirby, if Kirby could move like Jigglypuff, he would be so much better. Maybe not to the same extent as Incineroar, but he'd at least be mid-high tier. Kirby's slow in the air. Rosalina and Luma. It's hard to really put them anything higher because the only person who plays them competently is the Buzz. Speaking of the Buzz, he's right here. Yeah, they're definitely not as good as they used to be. They got nerfed a decent amount, but because there's such low representation of them, people don't know how to fight them, and so therefore they might upset a few matches. I still don't think you can put them any higher. Maybe mid tier. I'll put them mid tier, but for the time being I'm just gonna leave them in low tier. So that is it, I believe, for the tier list. I have a copy of an already finished version on my other monitor. We're gonna leave it at that. I apologize for rambling a lot in this video. I noticed that just by covering the first like 25 characters or 20 characters, it's already like a 30-minute video. That's my bad. I'll try to make mid-tier and high-tier a little bit faster, but you know me. I take 20 minutes to explain what should only take 2. That's kind of what I'm known for. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you have, please be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comments down below if you agree or disagree with me. There will be a lot of people who disagree with me because, again, I'm not the most experienced player out there. I'm not Spargo, I'm not Leo, I'm not Tweak, I'm not Cola, I'm not DeBuzz, I haven't been playing this game for like 20 years. But I would like to say that through observation and through at least a lot of playing myself, that I know enough about characters to at least form an educated opinion on them. But if you disagree, then by all means, feel free to roast me in the comments. And once again, welcome to my Smash channel. I hope we can have an awesome time. I'm super excited to make videos for this game because I have a lot of passion for this game. And I'll be getting back to you with the mid/mid-high tier episode probably within the next couple of days or so, next week. I'm going to take a break for a moment. I'm going to get some water, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to record the next episode. I just have to edit it. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, a rating would be much appreciated. Don't forget to follow my Twitter, join my Discord server, and check out, well, I can't say check out my previous videos because this is the first one. Stay tuned for future episodes, and I'll see you again soon for the next one. Take care.